Hi guys, Mark Frederic, Le Charcuterie Anglais here at questions and answers time. Got a question in, and it's from Philip, and Philip's asking, my hot water pastry keeps falling down. Do you have any tips? At Philip, hot water pastry falling down? Yeah. I think a lot of people have made the mistake. You don't work it hot, okay? I'll explain. So hot water pastry, everybody, for pork pies, needs to be worked chilled like any other pastry. You put it together, so-called hot, and the best way to do it is when you're using a mixture of some people will contradict me of this, but the best recipe for this is half pork fat, lard, and half butter, good salty butter. In any recipe, regardless what you learn here or recipes I give, wherever you read, if it says unsalted butter, please just ignore it. Just go for salted. It'll change your world, honestly, believe me. Anyway, getting back to hot water pastry, so it's water, half fat, half butter. Well, butter is fat as well. So you can use all butter and you can use all lard, but the 50-50 like works best. So with a little bit of salt in a pan with your measured amount of water. Bring it all together. Don't go crazy. Don't get it boiling. Just get it so as it melts, and then add it to your to your flour mix. Put it all together, and just allow it to chill down. Cover it with a tea towel, so as the remaining heat can come through the tea towel, and away from the pastry to help cool down. You don't want to be trapping any heat in there by using bloody kitchen cellophane and tin foil and all that sort of stuff, but you obviously want to keep it covered to stop any contamination. So that's the best way to do it. Avoid putting it in the fridge. Definitely avoid freezing it, and but you may put it in the fridge for a very short time if you're struggling to get it down to a reasonable chill temperature. Okay, so but once it is chilled, then you've got more chance of it working the way you want it to. So the other tips I can offer you is, when you're making a pork pie, if you're using pork pie tins, is to bake your pork pie just over 3/4 of the way. Bring it out the oven, allow it to chill a short while, about 15 minutes or so, and then take the pork pie out of its container, not before. If you take away the container from the pie whilst it's still hot, it'll, there's a chance like it'll collapse. And also then you can egg glaze it and put the pie back in the oven without the container to finish off. So that's the tips I will give using hot water pastry. But the trick is you use it chilled like you would any other pastry. All right, don't try and work it hot, because you will fumble about and the pastry won't hold, especially like if you're using a pork pie dolly. So it's like a wooden kind of truncheon style, with a looks like a Thor's hammer but made of wood, smaller version of course. So he's like trying to raise the pastry up, or if you're using jam jars, you try and raise the pastry up and it'll just fall in. It's too warm, it's too hot, it has to be chilled. All right, so that's what you need to do. These pies in Yorkshire, by the way, they used to call them stand pies because you need that pastry to stand up. All right, and that's what you're going to do. The only way you're going to do that is for them to be chilled. So that answers your question. So yeah, good luck with that, with your next attempt. If you've got any more questions about pork pies or anything else, let me know. I've, giving myself a plug. I've got a fantastic pork pie recipe in my book. And I say to people, never change the pastry recipe, but by all means change the contents recipe if you wish. All right. But, here's a little trick tip for you. Because it's relevant. Once you finish your pork pie, all right, and it's really important this. Once you finish your pork pie and it's chilled down, the meat inside the pie, will contract. So you've got a gap between the meat and the walls of the pastry. So you've got air inside your pie. So you'll only have a few days at best shelf life if you leave your pie like that. So in order to extend the shelf life of your pie, to give it the best shelf life possible, which for standard size pies would be about 10 days, you can only achieve that by putting in gelatine. When the gelatine goes inside the pie, in between the meat and the walls of the pastry, it pushes the air out. All right. So then you've got meat, gelatine, pastry. So that way your shelf life extends to about 10 days. All right. So not that I don't know any pork pie that'll last 10 days. Certainly not in my house anyway. So so there's another tip for you. So anyway, enjoy your pork pie making. Hope this improves when you're making or using hot water pastry, cold, chilled. All right. So if you like the video, go down there and buy me a coffee in the description. Buy me a coffee. It helps us support these videos and my other fundraising stuff. So appreciate it. Till the next time, toodaloo.